Breaking news overnight, the Justice Department revealing the most information to date in why agents searched former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, finding some 322 classified documents, many of them top secret. And what we are learning this morning is raising serious new questions.
It sure does. The feds are calling on the judge to reject the request from the Trump lawyers for a special master review device. But they also released new evidence, including this photo. Look at this right here. Highly classified material they found at Mar-a-Lago, some kept in the former president's desk. And the filing reveals new details about the investigation, raises new questions about obstruction of justice. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas starts us off from the Justice Department. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. Overnight, the Justice Department filing a stunning new motion challenging Trump's request for a special master and offering explosive new details alleging lies and obstruction of justice. This morning, the first look inside the FBI's dramatic search of Mar-a-Lago. This photograph showing document after document, labeled secret and top secret in bold red letters, recovered at an unsecured resort. Look closely, you'll see one labeled HCS, initials for Human Intelligence Control System, meaning it likely contains information about or the identities of U.S. spies and informants. DOJ's 36 motion challenging Trump's need for a special master also provides the most detailed narrative thus far of why the FBI took the extraordinary step of searching the home and offices of a former president. The new details include a rare submission of grand jury material from an ongoing investigation. Revealing in May, a grand jury subpoena was issued for classified documents stored at Mar-a-Lago. The filing describing how FBI officials went to the resort to pursue the material in June. DOJ suggesting that the Trump team was misleading at every turn. This filing includes a June 3rd document from a Trump attorney certifying that all classified documents had been turned over. But soon afterwards, the FBI uncovering multiple sources of evidence indicating that the response to the May 11th grand jury subpoena was incomplete and that the classified documents remained at the premises. And for the first time, startling specific allegations of obstruction of justice. According to the court filing, the FBI developed evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room at Mar-a-Lago, and that efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation. Some of that classified material found in a series of desks in Trump's office. More than 100 documents recovered. Again, this after Trump's attorney had claimed that all the material had been turned over. DOJ officials claim Trump has little to no standing to request a special master review of documents based on issues of privilege. They said there could be no claim of executive privilege because the classified documents do not belong to Trump. They belong to the U.S. government. George?
Thanks. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. You had some midnight reading.
Yep.
Let's talk about it right now. Earlier, you thought we didn't know enough based on the earlier affidavits to determine whether it was likely that former President Trump would be indicted. How does this change your view?
Look, none of this is good for Donald Trump, right? Anything in here simply increases the chance of a possible indictment. But it doesn't answer the fundamental question, which is, was the primary goal of the FBI to get the stuff back, to say we need to secure this stuff, or is it both to secure the stuff and to pursue a potential criminal case? And we simply don't know how willing or eager, and it's not going to be up to the FBI, it's going to be up to Merrick Garland, as to whether to file charges in connection.
We don't know, and Pierre highlighted it as well, but this is the sentence in the document that really jumped out at me. It said the government also developed evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room, and that efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation.
And when you read this document, it becomes clear that they tried and tried to work with the Trump team. Up to this point, Donald Trump has said, look, I gave them everything. I gave them access. What this document makes clear is not only did he not give them access at certain times, but they gave him extensions. They said, okay, you want some more time? Here's some more time. Get back to us. He then gets back to them. They then have this meeting. They then have this final meeting on June 3rd at Mar-a-Lago, where they won't even let the FBI look inside the boxes. And instead what they say is, we're going to give you an assurance in writing that there is nothing else here that's classified.
Well, that was the other important thing. One of Trump's lawyers filed this document that said, based on what she was told, she turned over everything.
Yeah, and the question
in that.
Right. The question is that the lawyer's fault? Is that Donald Trump's fault? In the document, she's saying she's speaking on behalf of Donald Trump in connection with that. Who wasn't telling the truth here? how did these documents suddenly appear in all these different places beyond just the area where they were supposed to be stored? So you talk about, oh, there was this lock on the storage area. Well, now they find documents elsewhere. So the lock doesn't even resolve any of the issues.
Can the lawyer use attorney-client privilege to avoid answering questions about who told her that all the documents were turned over?
No, attorney-client privilege is not going to be an issue if this becomes a question of he told me to do it, or I did this on my own, et cetera. So I don't think that's going to be the fundamental question, although there are some documents in here which do appear to invoke the issue of attorney-client privilege. I don't think it's going to be significant.
One final question. The filing makes it clear that these were government documents. They belong to the government, not to Donald Trump. Does that change whether the judge will appoint a special master?
Look, it's a huge factor, right, is that we talk about these documents as if they are Donald Trump's documents, right? And the government's position is they don't belong to Donald Trump. I do think that since the judge has already indicated that she's likely to appoint a special master, she probably will try to move forward with that in some sort of limited capacity. But I think that that's sort of a minor sideshow at this point.
It's gone through all the documents.
Right. They've gone through all the documents. They know it's in there. Their own team has separated it out. The most important thing that the public learned today is the fundamental question answered. Why did they have to use a search warrant? Why couldn't they have found another way to get this information? And the answer, according to the government, is we tried.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.